What criteria needs to be followed in order to shortlist colleges?
Yeah, so there's a lot of factors about like picking the perfect school for you, and it can be a little overwhelming. So I'm going to pick the ones that I thought were the most important. So the first little thing I want to talk about is the size of the school. I know a lot of people actually don't think about this, and I thought it was really important. Some people will do amazing at like a giant state school like Rutgers or Penn State. They love having all these people. But I knew for me, I would get really overwhelmed in that kind of environment. But then on the flip side, like my dad went to a super, super small school, like less than 2,000 people. And I knew I wouldn't like that as much. So I really wanted a middle sized school that had a good student to faculty ratio. So I could still get like one on one attention if I needed to, but I could still like be in a big city, have a lot of new people to meet all the time. But I have friends who love their giant state school with like 60,000 people. And I have friends who love their really small liberal arts school that have like 2,000 people. So I think testing out a whole bunch of different schools that way is really important because you want to make sure you're living there. This is your life for 4 years. You want to make sure you're in a comfortable environment. Going off of that, like the location, do you want to be in a city? Do you want to be in like a neighborhood kind of area? Do you want to be in the middle of nowhere? Like maybe during COVID, you want to be in the middle of nowhere. Who knows? But also, make sure the school has a good program for you. Like, if you want to be an engineer, there are some great schools, like Yale, for instance, is an amazing school, but their engineering program isn't like what they're known for. So you wouldn't necessarily want to go there for engineering. Whereas, like another school, like Drexel, amazing engineering schools, it's completely different. So some schools are like all schools have like really great pros and cons. Make sure you're going to a school that has a program that's like it's well known for and it's what you want to study and what you want to go into. Um, the social scene is very different than the academic scene. So make sure it's like if you don't want to go to party school, make sure you're not going to a giant party school. If you do want to be able to go out into a city, make sure you're applying to schools that are in or near a city. So kind of see what like the social life is as well as the academic life. Because again, this is your life for 4 years. You're not just going to have your head in a book unless like you want to. Make sure you kind of get that vibe. Um, Also, cost is super important. The student debt crisis is nuts right now. I think every single school has to have this thing called a net price calculator, which is kind of like where you plug in all your family's financial information and it generates an approximate price of what you'd pay each year. And that's super helpful so you kind of know going into it. Because I know so many friends who didn't do that, got into like the school of their dreams, just found out they can't afford it. And it was like really upsetting. And if they did the net price calculator, they could have known beforehand and not gotten their hopes up and not be able to go at the end. So that's super important. You also want to see like maybe like the average salary post graduation because if you're spending like 70 grand a year, you kind of want to know you're going to get your money's worth out of it at the end. So see kind of how that is, what like people's career paths end up being, things like that. If it's something you're interested in, every college has such different and amazing things to offer. So you're going to be, it's just a vehicle to get you where you want to go, but make sure it's a place that you're going to be comfortable in and happy in because you are going to spend 4 years there or 4 to 6. Some people take extra years for double majors or anything like that. So yeah, those the big factors I think people should consider.